So if the Boston Celtics sweeping the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks gentlemen sweeping the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference semifinals this year, we're going to see the number 2 seed Boston Celtics versus the number 3 seed Milwaukee Bucks. In today's video, I'll be discussing who I think will win the series and in how much games. I'll start by talking about the Celtics side, then the Bucks side, then at the end I'll predict who I think will win the series. But before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, if you want to reach my goal of 3,000 subscribers. Also, drop a comment on this video as I do respond to all of my comments. And play that intro. To talk about the Boston Celtics first, because they're like the higher seed, the key for them in a series like this clearly has to be the defensive side of the floor. They're going against the Bucks, who are one of the best offenses in the league. They have Giannis, the third leading scorer this season, and in the previous round we saw that Boston was able to neutralize Kevin Durant into having one of the worst series of his career, arguably the worst one he's had in the last 5 years. That is clearly an elite defense, and I think Boston is definitely a team that's capable of defending and neutralizing Giannis somewhat, because I think it's harder to stop Kevin Durant than it is to stop Giannis. In the past, we have seen teams trying to stop Giannis, and the ones that were successful were teams that had long, athletic, and strong defenders to throw at him. Celtics have just that. They have Jason Tatum, strong, Jaylen Brown, strong, Marcus Smart, very strong, Al Horford and Robert Williams, really lanky, and Grant Williams has all of that combined. Those are all guys who I think could do well on Giannis, not really one-on-one, because no one in the league can really do good on Giannis one-on-one, but they could do good double teams and be physical with him in the paint. The Celtics will definitely look to throw a lot of double teams at Giannis and attempt to let other Bucks players beat them, which the Bucks are capable of taking advantage of, but they're really inconsistent, especially when it comes to three-point shooting. But overall, I think the Celtics defense will be very elite against the Bucks. And I think Robert Williams or Al Horford will get the one-on-one matchup with Giannis, probably Al Horford. On the offense side of the floor, the Celtics have several limitations that the Bucks might be able to exploit, because the Bucks are also one of the best defenses in the league. The Brooklyn Nets weren't able to exploit that at all, because the Nets are a terrible defensive team. Because outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the Celtics are very limited offensively, as all the players outside of those guys need plays created for them. Occasionally Marcus Smart will hit a difficult shot off the dribble, but that's not something you can rely on. I'd be happy if Marcus Smart is taking step back threes all game. So I expect a lot of double teams to be thrown Brown and Tatum's way, but to give Tatum some credit, in the first round he showed that he's actually a phenomenal passer. His ability to pass out the double team is as good as anyone in the league, but the thing is, we don't know if his teammates will hit the shots that Tatum will create due to his gravity, because a lot of the Celtics shooters are inconsistent, are just flat out not that good. So a major key for the Celtics is the guys outside of Brown and Tatum stepping up, which is something they did against Brooklyn, as guys like Smart, Horford, and Grant Williams were huge. If they could do that against the Bucks, it will really help the Celtics' chances. And straight up, the Celtics have one of the best scoring duos in the league in Brown and Tatum. Those are guys who always step in the playoffs, and in a series like this, I don't think we'll see either of them play terribly the same way LaVine and DeRozan played for the Bulls. I have faith in them in a series like this to perform. They're both basically playoff veterans. They've been in the playoffs every year of their career, especially Tatum, who's becoming a superstar right in front of us. They are also a team I would trust more at the end of the game, because they're two tough shot makers, which is something the Bucks are missing without Chris Middleton. So in clutch situations, I have more faith in the Celtics. Not saying Giannis is in clutch, but it's just harder to always get to the rim in the clutch, but he is capable of doing it. But for me, I think the X factor for Boston definitely has to be Robert Williams, who's going to be important for their defense as a shot blocker. He's also going to be the guy contesting Giannis's dunks and layups most of the times, and if he's able to do that at an effective level, it will obviously slow down Giannis somewhat and really help the Celtics in a series like this. But overall, the key for the Celtics in a series like this is to slow down Giannis as much as you can and have the guys outside of Brown and Tatum step up. If the Celtics can do that, they could win the series. To talk about the Milwaukee Bucks side in a series like this, The key for them has to be the offensive side of the floor. They're facing the Celtics, who have one of the best defenses in the league. If we're being quite blunt, the Celtics defense is nearly built to shut down the Bucks' offense. As stated before, the Celtics have many versatile defenders to put on Giannis. They will likely throw a lot of double teams at him, and Giannis has improved enough to be a solid passer off the double teams, but now it's just up to the Bucks players to make their open shots and take advantage of the attention he will draw. In the first round versus the Bulls, the team did a pretty good job of that as they shot 38% from 3. They're able to maintain that shooting versus the Celtics. It will force Boston to not double team Giannis as hard or as much, which will allow him to play one-on-one, and we all know if he's able to do that, he's gonna dominate. In a series like this, although Giannis will be defended well, I still expect a good series out of him, considering I think he's the best player in the NBA. The best player in the NBA won't get absolutely locked down the way Kevin Durant did. So I doubt he gets like locked down the same amount as Kevin Durant, but I don't think we'll see like a performance out of him like he did versus the Suns, where he just clearly looked like he's unstoppable. There will be times where the Celtics play really good defense on him, and there's sometimes Giannis's greatness will just go through that defense. I just don't think he's gonna play well above average like what he plays. If you're the Celtics, you have to view that as a positive. The Bucks will really be missing a guy like Chris Middleton in this series. He's their best shot creator. He's a guy who they go to for clutch situations at the end of games, and he just makes it harder to double team on Giannis because he's one of the best shooters in the league. His loss definitely affects the trajectory of the series. The Bucks defense should be able to take advantage of the Boston Celtics somewhat, because as the Bucks shown in the first round, they are definitely capable of locking down the opposing team's star guards, as they held Zach LaVine and DeRozan to some of their worst games of the season. DeRozan in the first round only averaged 20 points on 41% from the field. LaVine only averaged 19 points on 42% from the field. This Bucks defense, when engaged, is elite and can give Jaylen Brown and Tatum problems. Obviously, I don't think Tatum and Brown are going to be that bad, but I expect to see some bad performances out of them. They might be inefficient, and this Bucks team has plenty of guys to throw at them. They have Jrue Holiday, who could guard both of them really well. I think Drew's a top 500 defender, and even though he's a little bit smaller than both of them, he has the strength to not just get bullied, and he is very length, and he's just one of the best defenders in the league. He could really do a good job on both of them. I think Giannis could do a solid job on Tatum or Brown, but you wouldn't want to put that much pressure on him to make him guard the opposing team's best player the whole game. So they'll probably put Wesley Matthews on him, who did a really good job on DeRozan. To be honest, I think Wesley will be put on Brown and Jrue will be put on Tatum, which is a really good matchup. And the rest of the team is versatile enough to close out to their shooters. We already know they have Giannis, who's the best help defender in the NBA. You know he's gonna be great. The advantage they have in a series like is that they have the best player in the series. When you have the best player in the series by a significant margin, because obviously Giannis is way better than Jason Tatum, that really helps your chances of winning. I think the X factor for the Bucks in this series has to be Jrue Holiday, who's going to be asked to be more aggressive with the loss of Middleton. He's going to have to carry a larger scoring load, and he's going to be asked to guard one of the best players for a lot of the game. Jrue is a dog though, so I think he'll be fine, but the keys for Milwaukee is to have everyone outside of Giannis step up and don't let Brown and Tatum go absolutely off. To predict who I think will win the series, I'm gonna have to go with the Boston Celtics. Before Bucks fans get mad, it has just been released that Chris Middleton will miss this whole series, and even though there's a really slim chance he comes at the end of the series, like a game 6 or game 7, he definitely would not be 100%. If Chris was gonna play this whole series, I would choose the Bucks to win in 6, but without Middleton, I say the Celtics win in 7 games. I think this will be a really close series. A lot of Boston fans are sleeping on how good the Bucks are without Middleton by saying Celtics in 5 and stuff like that. I think the Bucks are capable of winning the series, but I don't know how much faith I have in their role players. In the past, they've shown to be really inconsistent and shrink in big moments, but regardless, the series definitely won't be a sweep like the Brooklyn Nets. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think the Bucks can win this series, or will Boston take it. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, if you want to go with 3,000 subscribers, also drop a comment on this video. I do respond to all of my comments, and play that intro.